What if I told you that we have a way where you can create a snapshot profile of a student at a glance? I'm talking academic information, behavioral, strengths, and creating what we're calling a whole child at a glance. Well, we got it. I'm going to show you how to use this tool in just a matter of seconds. You're going to head on over to app.schoolpsych.ai. Once you're in the platform, you're going to go to Studio Writer. Once you're in Studio Writer, go ahead and create a new Studio Writer thread. And then we're going to label this one by Student Initial AR. I like naming it by Student Initial. That way I can keep track of all of my students within their own respective threads. So you're going to click create, and now that's created a Studio Writer thread. Inside of this, you're going to have different template sections. I'm only going to have one section for this. So I'm going to add section, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it by student initial again, and then click create. That thread is going to pop open. What you're going to do, you're going to head to tools. Inside of tools, just type in the word whole, and then it's going to sort this, and you'll see the whole child at a glance report. You're going to click into that. You can see a whole child at a glance report is a complete view of the whole child, starting with strengths and including academics, behavior, attendance, and support strategies. I'm going to click text input, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but all that information that you have, whatever you can get, you're just going to paste it in. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just to give you an idea, I include demographic information about the student, date of birth, age, grade, school, parent information. Then I include student strengths. I include things such as the student's top 5 scores on the VIA, that's the Values and Action Survey. I then include just a quick section on teacher reported strengths. Nothing too much. And then from there, I include some information on academic performance, just basic math, reading, science, social studies information, some attendance information, and then behavioral notes. I also include some support services, then just some reported areas of concern. If you have intervention information, which I do have, go ahead and include that as well. Again, the format doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever you have, drop it in, okay? And then I add in this section right here at the end. And I say, be sure to add a section discussing the student's strengths. And that's just a little extra emphasis on it. I'm going to drop this prompt inside of the description down below. You can copy it and just replace it, add in your student's information and contacts. And then once you're ready, you're going to go ahead and click that Create Student Snapshot Viewer. It'll take a few seconds to run, and we'll give it a little bit of time to run. And in less than about 15 seconds, we see that it finished running. Now it gives us a student overview, just basic information about that student, that information that we included before. It gives us a really nice student overview. Then it gives us some of those performance metrics. It talks about the academic performance varies across subjects. It goes into the math, it goes into the reading, it goes into the writing, and then it goes into the science. It gives a nice analysis of how the student, Aurelio, is doing academically. It gives you a snapshot of the behavioral data. And then from there, it gives you the student strengths. It talks about the student strengths being multifaceted. According to the VIA, his top strengths include creativity, curiosity, bravery, hope, and joy. Then, because we included teacher information, it talks about the teacher observed strengths, which is pretty cool, pretty neat to see as well. What I really like, it says these strengths can be leveraged to support his academic and personal growth. But here's where it gets really cool. It then gives us a section on trends and insights. And it looks at the student's performance and behavior, indicate a need for structured support, particularly in managing frustration and completing independent work. It goes on, his struggles in math and writing suggest the need for continued intervention. And then it looks at the positive response to structured routines and praise, indicates that behavioral interventions are on the right track. It talks about the check-in, check-out system with the counselor, small group math instructions, visual schedules, and positive reinforcement for staying on task are all beneficial strategies. And then it gives us just some next steps and recommendations to build on the student strengths which is pretty neat too. Then let's see, it has a section on data visualization to further understand. These visualizations could be useful. Okay, if we wanted to go in and add these things, one of the powerful aspects of the Studio Writer is your ability to make modifications directly inside. While it gave me this data visualization section, I don't necessarily need it. So I'm going to actually delete that out. If I wanted to add things in, if I wanted to change just some of the sections, like let's say next steps and recommendations, I can do that. You can change the headings, you can change the font, whatever you want, you can continue to edit directly inside. And then you can preview. It gives you a snapshot of the entire document. You can copy, paste wherever you like, or you can hit export, and then it sends it to a Word doc for you as well. But what's super important about this whole child at a glance document, especially if you're returning back to school, if you're a special education teacher, you can copy this. But this is a great tool if you're a special education teacher, a case manager, psychologist, and you just want to get a quick snapshot of a student that you're working with, and you want to be able to communicate that information out. Give this a try. Let us know how you use it and let us know how it goes. Until next time, take care, everyone.